Good evening and welcome to Walnut High School's virtual Back to School. I'm Mr. Jameson, your child's teacher for English 1, periods 4 and 6. A little bit about me. I'm a product of the Walnut High School school system. Graduated from Walnut High School in 1990. Before that, I was at Suzanne, and before that, I was at Vehar. After that, went to the University of Arizona, where I graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism. I was credentialed from the Cal State University, Dominguez Hills in 2003, and I earned my master's in secondary education in 2012. But I think what is more relevant in terms of about me is I'm also a Walnut parent. So I'm also seeing the other side of this distance learning with my two kids, my CJ Morris fifth grader and my Suzanne middle schooler, seventh grade. So I'm kind of seeing how some of my colleagues are, what they're doing, the same way that you're seeing them and seeing me. And I think that's been kind of informative, and it has been helping to shape the assignments I've been giving and how I've been doing them, and how I've been timing them. Those are my two kids. Graduation is going to be here before you realize it. So this is what we're all aiming towards, right? It's going to be here before you realize it. Some of the tools that we'll be using, such as Socrative, Commonlit, Pearson SuccessNet, which is the online version of the book. There'll be YouTube. There will be Pear Deck. There will be Flipgrid. Give a shot with Edpuzzle. But they all revolve around Google Classroom. Everything has Google Classroom as its hub and goes off from there. All the links start there at Classroom and go from there. So everything there is all about the Google Classroom. I am Google Classroom certified. So I know some of them, the tips and tricks that perhaps at least a couple of my colleagues maybe don't. And I did that well before we had to be in this situation. Some of the freshman assignments will include essay writing. At the time of recording this, they have turned in their first small essay, so I can kind of see what they're capable of. And they have been assigned their first little mini research paper, all about their first piece of literature that we're starting. And some of that literature is going to be fairly challenging. I'll give you a list of what those are in a couple of slides. First semester, we're going to do a college research project. What that means is I'm going to have them look up a college or university that they think they would like to attend and take a closer look at it. What are the requirements? How big is it? Would they want to go to a big school, or would they like to go to a smaller one? Do they want to go out of state? Would they prefer to stay in state? How much does it cost? What scores do they need to have? Because having taught freshmen and seniors, I do get a lot of seniors who go, "Oh, I wish I did this freshman year. I wish I'd taken it more seriously freshman year," because the school they want to go to is now kind of out of reach because of mistakes made when they weren't thinking about college. And doing this catches at least a few of those kids and gets them thinking about college well before some of them normally do. And then second semester, a more traditional style research paper. They will still be doing presentations, both group and solo. In fact, the paper that they started work on today will be turned into a presentation. And as the year and the semester go on, it'll be less and less about me and more about them. Them doing more presentations and teaching the class, as opposed to necessarily me necessarily doing that. The literature will be 4 pieces supplemented by the textbook. So there'll be short stories, poems, essays that will come out of the major textbook. But these are the other pieces. To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, which is what they have started with. They should be working on or having finished chapter 1 of that. This year's Shakespeare, which would be Romeo and Juliet, and The Picture Bride, which kind of touches on some parts of history that we don't always get into, and as opposed to some of the other pieces that we have a tendency to do, has a very strong feminine side. The entire district has switched our email addresses. Everything still gets forwarded over, but we're all on the wvosd.org now. So that's my email up there. I tend not to think that reading out loud in class in this kind of distance learning setting is the most useful or helpful for most students. So we're not going to do a whole lot of it. That being said, I know there is a population that does need that auditory element. They need that read along. So the way we can fake that is audiobooks. And you can go from anything from Audible, has virtually everything, down to YouTube. YouTube, amongst everything else, has a shocking element of educational videos. And their audiobooks, sometimes there's multiple choices for one particular novel, is out there. My oldest daughter does this sometimes with some of the readings that she has. She will listen to the audiobook as she's reading the text. Um, Add your email into the parent portal if you haven't done so already. I believe you can do that. Someone up at the admin, probably your GLC, can help you do that if you have not done so already, because then we can get that added to the Google Classroom. Or just drop me a line and I'll put you in, or at least put the invite in. Um, that just provides an extra layer of communication. This makes one more way for me to get a hold of you in case I need to, such as, hey, they're falling behind, or they need a little, a little nudge, or whatever the case may be, to make sure things happen. All right. If there's questions, there's the syllabus that's on the classroom. Have your child show you the syllabus. It is there. Or contact me at the email on this slide. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you have a good rest of the evening.